So I am standing here at Rejuvenation on Southeast Grand, and I'm with Annie, who is the lighting specialist. And I think a lot of times, Annie, we all get kind of scared about lighting.
Right.
We think we just have to go with what's there in a house or in a different room. But the first thing I wanted to ask you is, I've heard a lot of talk about this, it's going to be illegal to buy certain light bulbs or cutting them out. Let's clarify that first.
Oh, sure. Well, first, it's not illegal.
Okay.
They're just phasing out the most insanely inefficient bulbs that are on the market right now. And that means incandescent bulbs. They burn off 90% of that energy as heat.
Yeah.
Whereas compact fluorescent bulbs and LED bulbs are a third to a quarter more efficient than incandescents. So they've kind of taken the bulbs that are most common, A-shaped bulbs, the pear-shaped bulb, and phased them out between 100 and 40 watts. Over 100 you can get, under 40 you can get, but nothing in between.
And I think the reason that might be important is because a lot of the newer bulbs are really, they're not pretty. They're just little swirls, and so they don't look as good. And so one of the things that I think would be a concern to people is not only the fixtures themselves, but what kind of globe you have on them.
Oh, sure, absolutely. The nice thing is that those designs are really intended for fixtures like this, where the light bulb is obscured, and where that light is diffused by the shade. And in cases where you have like a flame-shaped bulb or a globe bulb, an exposed bulb fixture, those bulbs will still be available on the market.
Wonderful. Now, let's talk about, I go into a room and it's got, one light in the ceiling.
Sure.
What am I looking for? What do I do to make that more accessible? And what does the different types of light mean even? Why is there one in the middle or two on a wall?
Sure. Well, in Portland, a lot of times with older homes, they didn't have electricity at first. So they would just drop a bulb in the middle of the room just because there was nothing there before. And it really depends on what sort of lighting you need from a space. Like in a dining room, maybe you want just a central focused light. In a living room, maybe you want more diffused light, something with like shade where it bounces light back onto the ceiling and fills the whole room with light. Or maybe something like a bare bulb fixture that doesn't produce a lot of light, but you have task lamps and floor lamps around to kind of augment that.
So then really it would probably be, you would have to know what you're going to use that space for.
Absolutely.
Like, I'm sure a reading light would be different than maybe a functional type of lighting for a kitchen cabinet that you're going to work on.
Absolutely. So yeah.
And what are some of how do you figure that out though? I mean, what's the process?
Well, you find a lighting nerd like me and you ask for help. Like really, because it's one of those things where you don't think about it. You don't buy hardwired lights terribly often, and it's a big purchase. So it's good to talk to someone who knows what they're talking about and just kind of get the full perspective and have a conversation about what sort of color should it be, what kind of shade should I use, what kind of light bulb should I use, because it all depends on how you use your space.
And when you say what kind of color should it be, is that like not only the bulb but the globe itself could affect that kind of coloring as well, I would think?
Absolutely. Like using a clear shade or something that's more opaque like this is absolutely different. And also the bulb itself can be different kelvins. Now we used to just buy a light bulb, but nowadays you have to be concerned of lumens, which is light output, wattage, which is power consumption, and kelvins, which is the color of light. 2700 is that warm white that we're used to with incandescents, as opposed to like a full spectrum bulb, and that can really affect the sort of light you get in a space.
So you want to be aware of all of those things.
Absolutely.
Well, all of us love our homes. We love to spend time in there and then go outside and work in our gardens and then run back into a room that we feel comfortable in. One of the ways to make those rooms very comfortable is with lighting. So we invite you to go to gardentime.tv. We can click you over to the Rejuvenation website, or you can come in and talk to the great staff here, figure out how to make that space in your house shine just bright for you. Thank you so much, Anne.
Thank you.